Are you flying with the eagles like all leaders do? Now, there's been a lot of talk of late about leadership, but everybody's a leader. If you're a mum and dad, if you're a manager, if you're a friend, if you're a company director, you've got to learn the skills of proper leadership. But 95% of leaders haven't got a clue. They think they have the power to do as I say and not what other people say. So I'd like to share with some of the top principles of leadership where all the top leaders throughout the ages have always used. Now, the first principle of leadership, you've got to have an ambition. You've got to have an intense desire to lead. And when you have a vision, and people will come to you, but you've got to be ambitious. And they say a vision separates the leaders from the non-leaders. A vision is getting all your people together and ask them, what's the vision for the future? Your family, your work colleagues, your business owners. You've got to show ambition all the time. It doesn't matter what goes wrong. You're so ambitious. But the next principle of leadership, you've got to be optimistic. They say true leaders radiate confidence in everything they do. Every time they have a problem or a setback or a crisis, they radiate optimism. They're always optimistic that they can solve the problem, they can get results. You've got to be optimistic. And they say when people are optimistic, when leaders are optimistic, that people will follow them. But the next principle, you've got to be resilient. It doesn't matter how high you go, you've got to keep going higher and higher. And they say if you had a bouncing ball and you threw it to the ground, it bounced back straight away. That's what resilience means. Every time you have a crisis and a setback, you bounce back straight away. But most leaders, they have a softball, and when they throw it down, it stays down for a couple of months. That's not you. You've got to have this mental power inside that you can overcome any crisis. And don't forget, there's always a problem every day, but every 3 months there's a crisis. And that's when they look at people, they look at leaders. Can they handle this crisis? But if you're optimistic, if you've got optimism and you're a bouncing ball, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself down and you bounce back straight away. That's leadership. But the next part of leadership is empathy. Leaders are sensitive and aware of the people they make decisions against. They're always saying, if I was to make this decision, if it was me, how would I feel? They're always looking through other people's eyes, and they're always making the decisions what's in line with their teams and their families. But you know, some leaders do it my way, hit the byway, I don't give a damn. But they've always got empathy, and they understand the 4 personality types: the relator, the thinker, the director, and the expressive, and they pay personality flexibility. If you want to know more about this, come on my master's course. We have top leaders all over the world. But the next principle, and this is the big one, honesty and integrity. Just be honest with everybody you meet. Give them the truth, have your values, just have honesty and integrity. But the big thing of honesty and integrity is this: you've got to be honest with yourself. If you've done something wrong, you admit that you've made a mistake, you've done this wrong. You've got to be deep inside. And Richard Branson said, some leaders, it's not workaholism or alcoholism, it's egoism. They never admit that they're wrong or they made a mistake. But that's not for you. You're going to be a proper leader. Have the honesty to say, I was wrong, I made that mistake. But the next principle is having the courage. Always have the courage to stand up there and believe and say what you think is true. Even the Zulus, when they were fighting against the British armies, they used to always say they only had spears and bows and arrows. If there's a danger in the front and there's a danger in the back, always go forward. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to have the vision, the ambition, the resilience, and the empathy to always go forward. Just be a risk taker all the time. Have that in burning the courage inside. And the next principle is reality. See the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. All the time, get the facts, facts. What's the cause of the problem? Always try to get the cause of the problem before you come up with solutions. We were doing a seminar right now or on master's programs. We do this all the time. I'm strategic thinking, and I say, who's got a dog? How many legs has the dog got? They all say 4. How many tails? 1 leg. And I say, for just this seminar, let's make the tail into the 5th leg, and that's strategic thinking. Then I say, how many legs does the dog have? And we all say 5. I say, no, just because John Haynes said the tail is a leg, it means nothing. You've always got to have the reality. It was even Oliver Cromwell, when he had his portrait done, it was like 10 foot, and he employed this artist, and artist was terrified. Oliver Cromwell, he didn't like the royal family, and after 2 years, the artist, all the great lords of all over the UK came, and they uncovered. He said, "Sir Oliver Cromwell," and the cloak come off, and everybody was clapping. It was an awesome portrait, but Oliver Cromwell wasn't laughing. And he said, "Artist, there's something missing." And he said, and Oliver Cromwell said, "Where's my warts?" And the artist said, "Sir, I didn't think you want big blemishes on your face, so I got rid of them." He said, "How dare you, sir? I want my face with warts and all." And that's where the old saying comes from. So all the time, please team, reality. What's the warts and all? See the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And the last one of principle leader is gain the power. There's 4 principles for gaining power. 1, you've got to have the power of knowledge and skills. If people don't think you're on top of the job, or you don't know how to lead, or you don't know how to make decisions, they disrespect you. So all the time, keep learning. You should be, if you're a leader, be developing yourself 2 hours a day, or come on my master's course. So people respect leaders with the knowledge. But the next one, just be a likable leader. Always have empathy. Always see through other people's eyes. Ask people what's their goals and help them achieve them. And they'll work the socks off for you. But the next strategy of leadership is power, is do it my way, hit the byway. That used to work many years ago, but not anymore. You've got to be a leader who's going to instill meaning and purpose. So that's a wrong one. But the last one is ascribe power. Now, ascribe power is when you've got a vision and your team agree with the vision, when you've got values, when you've got goals, and you're all in this together as a team. They say 20 people can outperform 100 people if the leader's got ascribe power, and that's what it's all about. So I'm sorry I've gone so quick, but this is leadership. I want you to come to me and ask me more about it. I believe MPs, company directors are letting this country down. That's why people are getting made redundant. That's why people are underperforming, because they haven't got good leaders. Just keep believing in yourself that you can be a leader. It doesn't matter who you are now. Pay the price in advance and start learning leadership qualities and skills. Thank you.